I've been wanting to run dust collection plumbing in my shop for quite some time. Currently what I have is I have just the hose attached to my single stage shop vac, and then I just punch that into whatever tool that I'm using that I need it for. And that has worked, but it's a bit of a pain in the neck because sometimes I'm working a little bit on the table saw and a little bit on the bandsaw, and I'm having to reroute the hose from the bandsaw to the table saw and vice versa, and it gets annoying after a while. So I finally decided I'm going to run the plumbing. Well, this is 4-inch pipe here, supposedly. And look, this is 4-inch plumbing here. Well, I made a mistake. First of all, it doesn't fit. This is supposed to fit outside of this, and it doesn't fit properly. And what I'm really thinking I need is 3-inch pipe, because the couplings is what this is going to fit on. So I'm going to return this to the orange box store and start over. The next step of this project is I am going to mount my vacuum onto the wall here, and I haven't decided exactly how yet. So what I did was I pulled the motor off to make this whole thing lighter, so as I try to figure out the location, I don't have to wrestle that motor. And now I'm going to finish taking this thing apart. I'm thinking, since there's a mount like this, I'm thinking I'm just going to mount it I thought it's something like this, but this has to sit out just enough. So I need to make a bracket for here and then figure out how I'm going to mount it to this wall here. That's the next step. One concern on mounting it directly to the wall like this is that on the other side of this wall I have this wall here, and if I mount it directly to the wall, it might become a big speaker and really be loud out here. So that's the concern I have. If that is the case, I will reassess the situation. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that motor and I'm going to plug it in, and I'm going to hold it tightly against this wall, and then I'm going to turn it on, and we'll see how loud it is. 3, 2, 1. I was mulling this over last night and trying to figure out what I was going to do. Even though I'd like to recover 3.5 inches of space in this very small shop, I think I decided I am not going to make this a built-in to the wall for a couple reasons. One is that by building this into the wall, it's going to increase the noise level. This wall will become a speaker, and it wasn't that terrible when I did that test, but that was just me leaning the motor on it. That's not it sealed in. So so I've been debating on what am I going to do to resolve this situation, and I think what I am going to do is I'm going to make a new cart. This is the cart that came with the vacuum system, and quite honestly, it was no time at all before it was a total piece of junk. I must have leaned on it a little bit, at one point. I'm no light guy. And the casters in front got bent. You can see they're dented out. The other thing I didn't like is the casters in back are not steering casters. They're just straight up casters. So it never fails. This is the side I want to move, but that's the side with the straight casters. And I don't like the way this whole thing fit together because this bar made it harder to put the bag on. The front bars aren't so bad, but well, that's one thing out of this whole situation that's not so bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new cart. And I'm going to make the cart large enough to accommodate this garbage can right here, because that is going to house my pre-dust separator. So first step is I'm going to continue disassembling this, get this completely broke down, so then I have a basic idea of the size, and then I'll start using some plywood and make a new cart. All right, that's looking pretty good. Obviously, the garbage can is going to go on one side, and the bag for the vacuum will be on this side here. Now, one of the problems is that sure it's pretty stable, but I want to have a little insurance because originally there's two bolts that go here. I will be using those bolts to fill the holes, and there's a brace that comes down, and I just want to give it a little bit more stability, so that's what I built this for. And the idea is this is going to sit in here, and I will screw it into place. I'm going to shim it up a little bit, screw it into place to give it a little bit more stability, not much. And but other than that, this is looking good. All right, I made a discovery. I made a mistake. I should have went ahead and made this cart the full length that needed, because I'm finding that it's kind of tippy. So I added 3 bricks into the bottom of this garbage can. I plan on using plastic garbage bags to transport the sawdust out of there, so that's helped quite a bit. But this video is getting kind of long, so I'm going to cut it off here, and on the next one we will start working on the pre-dust separator. So but this cart already is 1,000 times better, because one of the things I really hated about that other cart was it had two wheels that were fixed and two wheels that were that spun, and it was a pain in the neck to move it around. Where this has all four wheels spinning, and also that other tray was bent. So for now, this is going to be it, and stay tuned for the next episode. Good. Finally, after every woodworking project, you should always count your fingers. You end with 10. Good job.
More videos of you fooling around making a dust collection system? I'm so excited.